Oh my goodness, that is a good fish. See if I can get it up.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the KastKing channel. Today I'm going to show you one of my favorite baits to throw during this winter time of the season. It's winter, the weather's cold, it is hard to find the bite. So what I like to do is throw jerk baits typically. The reason why I like throwing jerk baits is it allows you to fish that middle column of water where those fish are typically hanging out during this colder season. On top of that, they really do match the hatch fairly well. They kind of replicate those bait fish in the water. They kind of replicate a dying bait fish. And when they're in that center water column with those two variables, they honestly kind of give the fish a easy meal to lock onto. So with that being said, guys, the most important thing about jerkbait fishing for me is having the right setup. And personally, I love rocking my KastKing Para G2 medium action 6'6" rod. This rod allows me to work easily around the banks. On top of that, it has a slow rod tip action, so that way when the fish take off with these jerkbaits during those long pauses, it allows the hooks to slowly hook onto the fish. On top of that, I usually pair it up with a higher gear ratio. Today we'll be using the Mega Jaws Elite 2, and the reason behind that is usually there's a lot of slack on the line, and you want to have something that can bring that slack in as quickly as possible. I recommend anything from a 7 gear up. You can get away with a 6 gear, but stay away from anything that's a 5. So I feel like we've talked a good just about these baits and about having the right setup. Let's get out there in the water real quick and show you what it's all about.
All right, guys, we've gotten here to our first little pond. We're gonna try it once again. We got our 6'6" rod at Para G2. I got it matched up with that Mega Jaws Elite 2. I haven't dialed it in yet, so give me a second while I dial this bait in real quick. This area has a ton of good ponds, so we'll start with this one and work our way around. Ooh, water's really cold. We got down to 37 last night, so it should be pretty hard to get some fish today. We're rocking a smaller size little jerk bait presentation. This is gonna be about a 3-inch presentation, and it's about a 1/4 ounce in weight. And go with that simple motion where we just jerk and pause this bait. See if we can get anything going. Work my way straight down. Might have to put on a different jerk bait. This one might be diving a little bit too deep for this pond, but we'll give it a few more casts out here. There's also a lot of grass at this spot. Yep, that's the third time's the charm. Time to swap out to something with a little bit less depth to it. Lengthwise and presentation-wise, I feel like we're doing something right, but as far as depth, we're not getting the right depth, so it's time to put on something a little bit different. All right, so the next bait we're gonna put on is a hybrid bait. It's technically a crank jerkbait hybrid. It's made out of balsa wood, but you can crank it very similar to a crankbait without having any sort of repercussions. It's very similar to a flat-sided crankbait, but it is in that jerkbait family because you can fish it very similar to that same way, and it has that same suspending motion. So I'm gonna put this out there real quick and see if we can change out to see if we can get a bite on this, just because it's that same kind of look and size and shape of that last bait, and I think that is the right presentation we're looking for. If not, I do have a couple other jerk baits that we can use, but for the meantime, we're just gonna try to keep that same look, same presentation out there. Just reduce the depth if possible. The good thing about this one is it's very buoyant. The other one I had was a slow sinking. This one is a balsa wood, so it floats up very intensely. Oh yeah, yep. Like I said, it floats up very intensely. Oh my goodness, that is a good fish. See if I can get it up. Oh my god, first cast swapping out, guys. Yeah, like I was saying, helps you float up in that right water column where we want to be. And there we go, our first fish of the day. That's got to be a 3, almost 4 pounder. Look at that guy, just completely hammered that thing. Wasn't even thinking twice. These fish right now are freezing cold. Let me get a real quick weight on this guy. 3.6. That is a solid fish to get right there. First fish of the day, I'll take that. Solid first fish of the day, and that is why we want that medium setup. I don't know if you guys saw the tension on that line and how this bait kind of took off when this fish bit, but that is exactly what we want, exactly how we want them hooked, and the fish that we're after out here, guys. Beautiful largemouth bass on that hybrid jerkbait. Let's go ahead and get back in the water though. Oh, wow. He was not happy, man. This water's freezing too, so I know that I don't know if you guys saw, he didn't fight like crazy on the bank. And that's because that kind of shock that they get in when they come out of this cold water and hit this cold air. Man, that was awesome though. Working out of that veg line, he hammered that thing, man. Work is real slow, keeping that slack on the line once again. Just barely even tapping this one. Some people can get real exaggerated with their jerks. Just depends. This is a pond, so I don't have to. If there's fish popping and fighting frantically, I'll get some dramatic jerks like that, and it just kind of attracts the fish a little bit more, in my opinion. Gets a little bit more pivoting and acts like one of those bait fish that's dying in that pocket. But without us fishing a pocket, we're just fishing open water. You can fish it slow and steady, and hopefully you'll find one that way. If you ever feel like you're getting hung up in grass too, you can always pop up versus that sideways technique. It'll help you get out of that grass line. Just some little tips for you guys. Yeah, I'm just getting snagged in grass like crazy. So I guess this is going to be a good time to show you guys both variations of the jerkbait, both hard and soft. I'm going to put on a soft plastic jerkbait real quick. First thing you're going to want is a EWG hook. This is what I prefer with my jerkbaits. I'm going to tie this on real quick to get this hook all the way inserted into the bait. Once we do that, then we'll turn downward. You want to make sure this entire hook is in the bait, and the reason is because we want to make sure that this eyelet right here gets all the way inside that bait. Pop this up right here. There we go. That becomes weedless. This can be a little bit straighter if you want, but that'll do what we want it to do for now. And then I'll show you pop it in the water. That bait gets underneath the water, and you can see it twitches around, similar to like a glide bait or a jerk bait. And because that eyelet is hidden, the line doesn't get pulled up, it gets pulled down naturally because that bait is shaped downward. So it helps it pivot around the water versus coming up out of the water. So now that you guys know how to rig it, let's get it out there and see if we can get something on it. And these I fish a lot slower than I fish a hard jerk bait. It's kind of like you're letting it fall into that grass pocket and just bumping off the ground like a dying fish. Now if they're working on top of the water, that center column, you can definitely do that as well. But just with what we have here in front of us, all this grass, I'm gonna try this out first. There we go. There we go. Little guy. Not a big one, but I'll take it. In that grass, like I figured. Just like that, guys. Second fish of the day, soft plastic jerkbait. Cold as the first one. I'm gonna get him back in real quick. Nothing to write home about. See ya, buddy. Seems like they just want it moving very, very slow and up against these grass lines. So I'm gonna test that out with this one. If we can get another bite, then I know I figured out the pattern. Surprised we haven't found more bites on these jerk baits, but then again, I shouldn't be surprised at all with it being 37 degrees last night. It's 37 until about 8 o'clock today. Now it's 60. I don't know what's going on. It's Texas for you. Start at 37 and you end your day at 66. It's weird. 68 actually. I'll take it though. I mean, started the day in a Sherpa sweater, now I'm in nothing. This wind started kicking my butt though. It's getting really windy out here. Like to the point where it's hard to fish. There we go. Oh, I had one, man. I had him. I saw him kind of squirt out there at the end. Get a little top water on him. He had it in his mouth, just not all the way in his mouth, I guess. That's a pain in the butt. Getting thumped, getting thumped, getting thumped. Take it, buddy. Oh, broke me off. Let's see if they jump. Broke me clean off. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Last second over here. Oh yes, 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 yes. The last fish of the day for me, guys. It has been a grind. It has absolutely been a grind fishing this jerkbait for the last, I don't know, like 3 hours maybe. But there we go. We got ourselves another nice bass. Not a huge one, man, but in comparison to the second one, this is definitely bigger. And like I said, every fish counts during these cold winter months, man. That is officially gonna be it, I think, for the day. It has been a rough one, but jerkbait bite officially on, man, during this winter transition. As you can see, both soft and hard. Pick and choose. You will catch some fish with it. Well, with that catch right there, I think that is going to do it for today. We got out here with our favorite little jerkbait setup, just trying to show you guys how to use them, where to use them, and how to kind of apply the different applications. And as you can see, we got out here with the hard bait, caught them. We got out here with the soft bait, caught them. And honestly, I was just trying to show you how you'd want to work them around different areas of ponds, you know, when you're bank fishing these jerkbaits. So hopefully you got a good understanding of how to use them. Like I said, the bite is not going to be amazing during these winter months. It's really hard, so you got to find a bait that kind of helps work with those fish. And as you can see today, we definitely found a bait that we could slow down. We can get in that strike zone. We can work in and out of grass, and we can work it in and out of vegetation, and it can catch us multiple sizes of fish too, which is definitely a plus. So with that being said, guys, that is going to be it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed. Once again, a big shout out to KastKing for always allowing me to take over their channel. If you guys are interested in picking up any of this gear, make sure you get on over to KastKing.com and pick it up there. But that is going to be it once again, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch y'all in our next one.